Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Content Market Webinars by DICM. This webinar series takes place every month and aims to share insights and experiences from experts in the industry. This month, we'll be talking about a topic that I really love, fast in Middle East and North Africa. My name is Jan, and I'll be moderating your panel today. I've been in the region for more than a decade, but I recently decided to share insights about a very specific topic, streaming in MENA. I write every week on the Streaming Lab newsletter, so if you are not a subscriber already, have a look at the streaminglab.com. Joining us today are Nadine and Jordan. Welcome. Nadine is the Chief Business Officer at WEAC. She's been in the region for many years, of course, and she has over 20 years experience in digital business and tech. She has been awarded Female Broadcast Executive of the Year by Broadcast Pro in 2020. She was managing before Shahid.net, and she's now running weac.com. She's also a speaker in the MENA region and an expert. So if you never heard about Nadine, I'm sure you live in a cave, so sorry about that. Joining us today also, Jordan is the VP President of Business Development with Otera. He started the industry a long time ago as an actor, and he is now behind the scenes to share, to shape the future of streaming. This webinar will be a little bit different. I would like to start with a short 10-minute presentation about FAST worldwide, and of course, FAST in MENA, and then we'll start the discussion with our guest today. Let's start quickly with the first slide. The rise of FAST worldwide. I'm very happy to share with you this exclusive data that I received yesterday evening from one of my market research partner, Streammetrics. What I wanted to show you today is one quick slide about the number of FAST channels available worldwide in the US, Canada and Europe, Australia, and of course, MENA. As you can see, in the US, two platforms already have more than 400 channels, very close to 500 for Plex. And in Europe, the top platform also have more than 200 channels, so it's growing very fast. In Australia, the Plex should very soon reach 200 channels. And I remember working on this same slide in April for MIP TV, and I can tell you it's much different, so it's growing very fast. Of course, the topic of the day is streaming in MENA, so MENA is now part of the picture when it comes to FAST. As you can see, many players, most of the initiatives around FAST come from local players, and they already created a lot of channels. Most of them are country exclusive. It means they are only available in the region. And as you can see, not a single global FAST platforms entered Middle East, North Africa. So there are still a lot of opportunities. If you follow me, I'm sure you're used to this graph. I've been tracking streaming in MENA for more than 1 year ago. And I really like logos. I think it's a good way also to see what's the evolution of the streaming industry in the region. There are different messages here. The main one is, of course, more and more streaming services launched in the region. But what's interesting is to see that the first services were mainly ad-supported, AVOD, pure AVOD. Most of them quickly switched to SVOD and hybrid models. So right now, as you can see, in 2023, a lot of new platforms that just launched or hybrid models. AVOD, ad-supported SVOD, fast, and hopefully we need 4 more platforms to reach the level of 2022. So let's see, but I'm sure that we should see new platforms launching before the end of the year. What I like to show also is that the market is more and more complex, but in a good way. I would say it's more complex for streaming professionals that we are, but it's more affordable for end users. Most of the services are now hybrid, mixing SVOD, AVOD, ad-supported SVOD, fast. I also added some of the services that are free VOD. It's also an interesting positioning. Hopefully at some point they will switch to advertising. And it's changing very fast. Every month I need to update this one because one platform is moving to another category. So it's a good sign. It shows that the industry is evolving. The platforms are catching up, looking at the new trends, creating new trends. So it's important to keep updating this slide and see how the market is changing. Our topic today is about fast channels in MENA. So I wanted to show you an example of channels that are already available on some platforms in the region. What's interesting here is that, so as I told you, most of the channels come from local initiatives. There are a mix of different type of content. Some of them are single IP based on an actor, others based on a single series. Other channels are based on a specific genre. As you can see, crime launched recently. And then, as you can see, very few channels or international channels coming from third party. So it should change very soon. Hopefully, we'll see more and more third-party channels coming to local streaming services with a fast service. But we'll discuss about it with Jordan and Nadim. If you want to know more about Fast in MENA, feel free to subscribe to my newsletter. I write every week about streaming in MENA, but I write once a month about Fast in MENA. So I track all the channels that are available here. So it's very good to understand what are the channels that we lost, what are the new channels, the different genres, the new single IP, and it's moving very fast. So I will not be surprised that the region reach very quickly the level of Europe or the countries and regions that are more mature very soon. That's it for my presentation. You can scan this QR code if you want to receive this presentation with interesting exclusive data about Fast worldwide and Fast in MENA. If you don't have time to scan, we'll find a way to share it with you. No worries. Back to our guests. Hi, Nadine. Hi, Jordan. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Doing good. How you doing, everyone? Thanks for having us.
My first question, I think, do you want to introduce yourself quickly? Maybe we start with Nadine if you want to add anything, but maybe at the end of your introduction, can you answer this easy question? What is fast for WEIAC?
Oh, perfect. So very quickly, I manage WEIAC. WEIAC is a video-on-demand platform for Z Entertainment. With WEIAC, we are targeting the Arabic audience worldwide. WEIAC is a very popular name in the MENA region in particular. We've been here for quite some time, as your graphs have shown. By the way, I always love your graphs and the way that how informative they are with all of the logos. I'm keen to check them out.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, with WEIAC, we have a large offering. We have around 16,000 hours of content. And as you also have shown, that Wayak is in the middle of the map when it comes to the offering. So we are by heart an AVOD service. We have a subscription layer. We have fast. At the same time, we've been here for quite some time. Our core competitive advantage is our Indian content, which is owned by Z and produced by Z. This content is around 60% of the content library, or even more currently in Wayak. This content is completely exclusive to Wayak, and for all the lovers of the Indian content dubbed into Arabic. So we're targeting Arabs here. For all of the lovers of the Indian content, their first source of content is Wayak, where they can come and enjoy long hours of beautiful Indian content from series and movies and shows and all of these things.
Dubbed in Arabic.
Absolutely, dubbed in Arabic. So the majority of our content is dubbed in Arabic. There are very few exceptions where we do subtitles in Arabic. Moving to your question, what is FAST? So FAST is an acronym.
For Wayak, for you. Maybe it's there are many definitions. So I know it will be different maybe in the region. It won't be the same definition than just FAST in the US. So.
Yeah. I mean, FAST as an acronym that we're using here, it's basically the free ad supported streaming TV. That's about it. And it is exactly what it is for us. But FAST for Wayak has different types of channels. So it's basically a channel that is there on our platform that people can come and consume that content here. So instead of them selecting the content that they want to watch, they go to the TV channel, which is pre-curated for them to save them time. It's exactly the same as the linear TV, but instead of you going into the TV watching it there, you are watching it on the streaming service, which is in our case Wayak. There are different types of channels on Wayak. The first one is Wayak digital channels, which are TV channels that has been curated and planned by the Wayak team, specifically created by us. And these are 4 channels, as an example, Wayak Nawa'im and Action and the others as well. These channels consist of content that is available on Wayak that's very loved and people really like. We have the channels from the network, Z Alwan, Z Aflam. We have also channels from our partners. Otera is an example of our partners as well. We're working currently with 3 partners and we're growing that. And lastly is the single IP channels, which is something that we're going to be launching this month. We have 2 channels coming up from our favorite content.
Okay, I'll try to ask you more questions about it. Let's see what you can say about, about the single IP. Thank you, Nadine.
Thanks.
Jordan, same question, like if you want to introduce yourself more into detail. And the first question I have for you is about Tarfi TV that Otera just launched in the region recently. So what's the objective of this pure fast platform?
Sure. And hi, everyone. I'm Jordan Workhall again. So I work with Otera. Otera officially formed in 2017, but most of us in the company have a large and collective experience, dating back to the earlier days of OTT in 2011. So, we are a leading end-to-end solution. We provide services from streaming application development to fast channel playout, with supportive services to help our clients really grow and scale their business with distribution through our StreamBridge product, through monetization, through our AdNet Plus, business unit. Business strategy, and really, anything else that fits in there to help you grow your streaming service, your fast channel, or to understand what is the best strategy for how you should move into the space based on your market, based on your content, based on your budget, really all those things together, and what is the best path for you. That's really Otera in a nutshell. For us, for Tarfi TV, that's a recently launched fast-focused service, as he mentioned, and our objective is really to really lean into fast. So initially, it's only 5 channels right now. Our objective is to scale and launch more over time. So the goal is to have more local language channels that are more relevant to the region first, kind of like the path toward that a lot of platforms have started with. And then over time, layer on more international and more broadly available channels as people are getting more accustomed to the experience, to the idea fast in the region, and starting to engage with the platform, and we're getting more feedback through our data.
Cool. Thanks, Jordan. I'll keep opening Tarfi TV every day to check what you are cooking. And you have an amazing partner in the region, Sawa Media. So I'm sure some of them are in the call. So hi to them. My questions today will be split into three main categories that are, I would say, classic when it comes to the fast universe. The first section will be about content and programming. Second one about distribution. And the last one about monetization. It's a nice business model, but we all want to make, you all want to make money with it. So it's not that easy. So we'll talk about this. Let's start with the content parts. Nadine, so you're one of the first platform that started aggregating third-party channels a few years back, I think. Do you plan to grow your lineup with this strategy mainly, or a mix of channels coming from a little bit everywhere?
Yeah, there's no particular obligation not to partner with other content providers and channels. Actually, it is something that I would love to do personally. That's why we started earlier on. I believe having our user in the core of our business, what I want to provide them is all of the content possible for their entertainment. So the more, the better. And this is how this has started earlier on, even without thinking about the monetization, a few years back, which was a bit of a challenge in terms of the technology enhancements, unlike now. So what we wanted to do is to partner with other content providers, work on getting our network channels as soon as possible, and create our own Wayak channels as well, and make them available for the user free of charge at their fingertips on all the platforms that we are available on. So it's not only on web, it's everywhere, web, iOS, Android TVs. For their convenience. The idea of collaboration is going to continue. We've already have partners. I think we started our first partnership probably 2 years back, and it has been renewed, and we would love to have more partners on board. I think our competitive advantage is having the right audience. We have the right reach. We have a good number of unique users coming into our platform on a monthly basis. We have a share from their streaming time that they spend on a daily basis on their phone. So we made sure that that time is locked for Wayak. We know we can reach these users, and they are loyal. They love our content. Their average streaming time on Wayak per session is 1 hour, which is considered very high in the market. So the affinity is there. And what we want to do is to capitalize on this from both ends, provide value to our users as much as we can. And the second thing, also provide value to our partners, because we are already there. So they can leverage our presence and our strong brand with our existing viewers, and reach them quickly, rather than starting by themselves from scratch.
Cool. And I know that you also you are ready to distribute your own channels to other partners, but we'll talk about this a little bit later. Jordan, so Tarfi TV launched with 5 channels, country exclusive channels right now. I'm sure that you plan to add a lot of channels in the coming months. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, I can touch on that. Yeah, as I mentioned early on, really our goal is to start small and really focus on more local language channels. So between us and our partner, we are looking to bring on more from the region in a similar way that we've seen kind of other platforms initially launch and go through that trajectory. I think as a more fact-focused platform, and initially you want to get users into the platform, getting used to that idea that's not more common in the area, and then start doing the same thing for content owners. So I think it's really similar, not just for the platform, but also from the content owner perspective. This is a new medium for many. So as we've entered the space, starting in the US and moved early into LATAM and Europe and other areas, we've seen that a lot of it is helping the content owners understand what FAST is. A lot of people still may not know the acronym even, and as you started the webinar with, it's helping people at the very start learn, what does it stand for, what is the benefit, how is it an advantage to bring your content, especially if you have a library or catalog that might be underutilized, or maybe you're not getting as much distribution across VOD or other platforms. This is a new medium, and it's just another way that eventually all platforms will be some hybrid version, and FAST will be a part of it. And I think it offers a lot of advantages. So our goal is to add more local language channels to start, and then we'll layer on what we already have a lot of in our distribution, which is more internationally appealing channels that are more broad in genre and content focus, to kind of see how audiences are affected by that, and bring in more international appeal too.
I see the way I see Tarfi TV is also a way to bring Otera expertise to the region. You are one of the main fast tech providers, so I'm sure you'll gather a lot of that data, and I'm sure what you learn will be useful for not only Tarfi TV and Otera, but all of your partners, because you'll keep distributing content and channels to WEIAC and others, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's really a lot of the reason for entering this region as early as we have. It's similar to what we've done for Latin America and Europe as a company, because of our background as understanding the OTT space prior to FAST. That understanding and growth and distribution and associated data helps you see where consumption really is, versus joining the party later because you see there's a lot of platforms for FAST, the way some platforms may have come after the fact. And I think if you get early, you get that advantage of being a first mover, understanding how users react. And like we've seen in other markets, the landscape gets saturated very quickly. So for content owners, if you can get onto a platform early, while you might lose a little on the potential revenue while it's a little slower, you help to lead the market in terms of bringing more viewers in, getting more viewers onto your service and your channel directly, and then you get to be a large part of that growth early on. While the balance of waiting later means approvals and saturation come into play too. But like we've seen in other markets now, it is more difficult to go live later if you wait too long. So it's always a balancing act of your risk tolerance and wanting to be part of something early.
Thanks, Jordan. Nadine, Jordan mentioned something interesting about the languages. We know that we're still trying to figure out what kind of fast channels will perform and work well in the region. I can see that you also decided to aggregate fast channels in English. I know it's not your usual target audience, so is fast a way to target other audiences for WEIAC?
I think for now, it's not a matter of targeting a different type of audience, but actually it's more of providing our target audience with more options. That's how I mainly look at it, because, a lot of Arabs also consume content in English. We're not planning to get into that from a content perspective, not for now, but what we are trying to do is probably falls under testing from one side, and then providing more of options to our users to consume. Probably that would be more of a realistic view into what we are trying to do here. Okay,
so the 60% of Indian content that's on WEIAC should not be exactly the case for the fast channels right now. You are testing and you'll see if you can replicate, right?
Right. Now, the way that I look into the 60 or 70% Indian content, I look at it as an Arabic content, actually, because it's dubbed into Arabic. So the main language is Arabic. When you see the content, when you consume the content, you are consuming Arabic language, but the origin of the content is Indian, with the culture, with the beautiful culture that it comes with, and the nice productions that we have, and the very interesting stories that people really love. When it comes to the fast, it's a little, the story is a little bit different. We are still providing Arabic channels, and our own channels are in Arabic as well. The network channels are in Arabic. A lot of channels that we are partnering and distributing on our platform is in Arabic. But there is a test that's going on, or an attempt from our side is to test with the English channels and see the appetite when it comes to our users, if they would like to really to consume these channels or not. So it will give us a lot of insights about how to carry this further, and will this have any impact on our strategy going forward as well.
Cool, thank you, Nadine. Jordan, before closing the content programming section, I'd like to hear from you about genres. What genres do you think will perform better in MENA on Tarfi TV?
I think MENA will follow what we've seen really happen elsewhere, and you see a lot of that now, which is the more broad-ranging genres to start that we've seen is really what's most prevalent. So entertainment, movies, shows, sports, and news, I think is the best basis to provide an offering that includes channels from those genres. It's more massive appeal. It's more widely available in content. In some cases, there's a lot of backlog, especially for movies or general entertainment. And I think the fun thing that Nadine mentioned, that they're starting soon, that I think we've seen as a particular great more innovation that is specific to FAST, is the single IP channel. I think that's the best way that FAST can bring something different that is not more easily widely available in this fashion, which is just a single IP channel. It's, if you know a show or a specific brand really works and resonates with an audience, I think that type of channel can work well everywhere. Like, in the US, there's some shows like a show called Forensic Files, which is a very popular true crime show. On cable, there was a couple of networks that almost played it, 24/7 already. And that was one of the early single IP channels to launch. I remember in FAST, in the very beginning, and has still lasted as a very popular IP channel as today. And I think that speaks to when audiences just like a show, they know what they can turn on, they know what to expect. Even in some other genre channels, you still don't always know what you're getting from moment to moment. But that's, I think, the benefit of a single IP channel is you get exactly what you're expecting, and you can just stay there for as long as you want. So I think outside of the more common channels that are brought early, I think single IP is one of the easier one. And then I think kids and family gets easier as there's more opportunity for monetization and brands entering the market too.
I'm impressed by the number of single IP channels on some of the platforms in the US. In some cases, it's like 30%, 40%. That's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge.
It says a lot.
Yeah, I assume it works. It works well. So I can't wait to see how single IP channels works in the region, and I'll do my best to share this with all of you. Nadine, let's switch to the distribution section. And Wayak is a very good example. You have 4, I call them Wayak branded channels, but maybe you call them something else. I can see that they're already available on Awan, that's Dubai Media Incorporated. So do you plan to distribute those channels or new ones to other local streaming services here, or maybe outside of the region? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the beauty about digital, and that's why I love this field. There's like no limitations to the the business thinking and the new ideas that you can come up with. So when we started this initiative, even when it comes to distribution, we started with Awan, and we were extremely happy to do this partnership. Although for some other platforms would be they won't be flexible to do something like this, because it is a lot of, it takes a lot of experimentation, a lot of open mind, even from a business perspective, to be really open-minded to explore options and not, think that this is going to be competing with you in any way, right? I mean, if we don't test, we won't know. So yeah, absolutely. I'm always very interested in distributing these channels. We've created them to be part of the Wayak bouquet on our OTT platform. We've done this before, and we are looking for more distribution options as well, and partnerships. Actually, I'm just closing today a new deal. Hopefully, we're going to announce this soon as well. They're going to be these 4 channels distributed into another OTT platform as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
We'll see more of these deals coming soon for sure.
Nice. No, it's very interesting when it comes to FAST. I'm convinced that partnership between local streaming players in the region are very important. Maybe it's also a way to protect the local player against like the global giants that at some point will come. So let's see. Jordan, you are one of the, Otera is one of the main FAST tech provider and aggregator worldwide. So I assume you have a lot of channels in your catalog. Can you distribute the same channels to the US, to LATAM, to MENA? I'm sure the results are very different, will be very different.
So for these specifically, the goal would be to distribute those that we are powering. So our distribution service allows for any channel that we are the technology provider for to be able to include those in our offering and present to other platforms. That's really the goal in a similar way to Nadine is, and what we do now, taking channels and bringing them to any other region as we can. And it's kind of it's one of my favorite topics, I would say, under distribution. I think it's one of the most growing topics on a consistent basis where the distribution focused area really changes every month, every quarter, all throughout the year because of responses and growth on the platforms and viewing trends and things like that. And a lot of it is you're presenting offerings to platforms that is either relevant now or what they actually are serving, and you're adding a value with the new service that is similar to a genre they have, but is unique with either exclusive programming, the strategy and its scheduling, or something along those lines. And the other side is, helping them to get ahead of what they might want to launch later. So in the US or really, all over, there's not as many international channels or other language channels more widely available. Spanish is really the most widely available non-English channel on most platforms. And outside of that, there hasn't been a big adoption yet. And I think a lot of that is platforms have still been growing their user base and their technical ability to include more channels in the EPG and make it more discoverable. So they don't want to crowd things without being able to have users find more niche or specialized channels. But the good thing is, as we present an offering that is more focused for MENA or channels in Arabic or channels in Brazilian Portuguese, it's letting platforms know, through Otera, as you're making your plans in the next quarter or next year, if you're looking to launch in this language or in this region, through us, you can get, a dozen or more premium channels in this language or in this genre or, focused on this region. So what we do as a provider is allow a platform to kind of help see what we have. And as they're making their plans, it might make things easier for them to launch a certain language or a new genre. And that's really our goal. It's presenting things that are already being taken and add more value, and helping to add more value as they're making their plans, down the line in the future.
The Smurfs comes from you, right?
Yes.
Okay. I assume this one will work anywhere, right?
Yes. We have an English channel that's available worldwide outside North America, and a Spanish channel, which is PDFO TV. Okay.
But that's amazing to have this one available on Wayaka.
Everyone loves the Smurf.
Yeah, nostalgia works well in this part of the world and anywhere. Nadine, one question about Z Entertainment. So the parent company of Wayak. I know that they launched Z Bolly World recently. Can we expect this channel on Wayak soon, or maybe other local platforms?
See, when it comes to the entertainment globally, even I would say we have a lot of channels, right? So we're crossing 60 plus channels. Some of them are, local India channels, and they are very specific locally in India. And some other channels, which is probably a little less than the half of this, is international channels, which are regional international channels. As it is the case in the MENA region, we have 2 types of channels. regionally. We have the Arabic channels, and we have the Indian channels as well. So the question would be, will we be integrating probably the Indian channels or the global or even the domestic channels of Z into Wayak? The answer is no.
Okay.
The way that we look into this is more on the relevant content for our targeted audience. The right home for these channels will be Z5, which is our other OTT platform, which targets South Asian audiences globally. So it has most of the Z parent channels. You can find them there to be consumed by the South Asian public.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the clarification. One question to you, Nadine. As you remember, my first slides with this crazy number of like close to 500 channels on Plex in the US. Do you think at some point we'll reach in MENA this kind of number on one platform or the others, or it doesn't make any sense?
No, it makes absolute sense, actually, because from my view as a media person for a long period of time, I have my views on how TV is run. So before 13 years from now, when we started really to work on the VOD heavily in the region, which was the starting point for us, the question was always on the table, is that after 10 years from now, are we going to see TV or no? And most of the answers were no, TV will disappear by 10 years. Now, this proved wrong. It didn't happen. TV did not disappear. But what has happened over the years is our understanding of how users consume content have changed. So people run after the nice content, right? In order for them to view that content, right nowadays, they really don't care where they are viewing it, on which platform. Is it TV or is it streaming or whatever? They are following the content, and they are following the brand that they love. Similarly, if we talk about the fast channels, from a user, like let's put ourselves in the user's shoes. What we want is, for example, to watch ZL1, right? For me, I love ZL1, so I wouldn't care if ZL1 is aired on the linear channel on the boxes at the Salat and Do, or if I'm having access to ZL1 through Wayak, for example. The idea is I want to watch ZL1, and wherever this channel goes, I'm gonna follow it. Wherever my loved content, as an example, Joda Akbar, we're gonna talk about it in a while, I'm gonna follow that content as well, and I'm gonna watch it. So this is how I look into the dynamic of TV, streaming, and fast as well.
Yeah, but all the worlds are mixed right now, so that's why it's even more interesting. For the issue of the challenge with like a 200, 300, 400 channels will be discovery. So I know it's a big topic that many professionals will talk about during MIPCOM. Do you have something to say about this, Jordan?
For me, I always like the question of, when somebody's asked, how many channels do you think is too much? And I don't think we can answer that now. I think the answer of what is too much right now is just whoever has a number in mind that they pull out of their pocket at that time, because okay. I think there's no limitation of like Nadine saying, of what people are interested in. When you have to remove a channel or add a channel because it might get X number of people watching or X number of hours watched per month, on YouTube there's an endless amount of potential channels. On social media there's an endless amount of creators and influencers, and new people can come up that get a small amount of followers or a lot, but they're still they're still getting attention when people enjoy. And the same way that there's many different models, like in the slide you showed, of platforms, and they're now mixing. At some point, I think every platform will be a hybrid offering, allowing users to have the choice of how they want to consume content. Some content's behind a paywall, it's free, or it's a mix, and giving more choice is better, as long as you can do so in a way that is organized and discoverable and easy path for users to flow through and find what they want. And when there's personalization that you can control some portion of the EPG or make playlists or recently watched and those kind of features, now you're getting quick access to what you really want. And it's no different in the US and cable, when we pay for a cable service and have hundreds and hundreds of channels, but most people probably are watching a handful. But it doesn't hurt the experience. So I think the benefit of what Fast does is allows an endless amount of channels to be created through different content libraries or single IPs or mix of genres, or the way Netflix has done well, these really cool sub-genres that combine different categories together to make, something more fun. And I think the more we focus on how to do that and how to allow more people to enter the space, the more growth we'll see versus trying to find a limit on the number.
Thanks, Jordan. We just received a question from the audience for you also. Let's see if you can answer it. Can you explain what is a single IP channel? Easy.
Sure. Yeah, a single IP channel. IP is intellectual property, so it's a channel that is based off a single series, and it might be, a good example we brought up is Smurfs. It is just Smurfs episodes from different seasons in the schedule, and there's a lot of those that are very popular. There's Baywatch, there's Forensic Files, which is true crime. There's many others, and sometimes, kind of like you showed, there's also some that are based on a certain celebrity, and it's a way to resonate with nostalgia or popularity for a brand or an IP, and especially those that might have 8, 9, 10 seasons of many different episodes. Somebody can always turn it on, know what to expect, and just like go back to the times when that show was on TV for them every Friday night.
There are already several fast channels focused on one single actor or actress. And I think it makes very sense in the region. Like for example, some Egyptian actors or actresses, like they are very, very famous. So yeah, everybody will relate to this. We can call this kind of channel a single IP channel also.
Yeah, I'm sure a Denzel Washington channel would do very well. Actors like that. There's a large library of movies that people always like to watch.
Nadine, you already have a single IP channels on Wayak?
Yeah, actually, we're launching 2 channels this month. I was hoping by the time we are on the live today, we're having them up and running. But they should be in October up and running, actually. That's the beauty of Fast, and that's the beauty of the flexibility of the platform, the technology, and the business mindset that we have in Wayak. That we can actually do these tests and spin off these channels quickly. So yeah, there are two channels, as I mentioned. One of them is based on, both of them actually based on series, not on actors yet. This is what we are testing with at the beginning, and these are probably the 2 top shows that really people love. They are Indian content, of course, dubbed into Arabic. One of them is called Joda Akbar, and the other one called Hayat Albi. So Joda Akbar is a very popular series on Wayak and on Z in general, whether it's in India or here in the region. It really resonated very well with the people, and as Jordan mentioned, it has to be like a good number of episodes and then seasons. And Joda Akbar really checks all of these points, actually. So has a lot of seasons, has a lot of episodes. People absolutely love the content. So that was our first thought, that we would need to test with the single IP channel to be Joda Akbar, and the second choice is Hayat Albi, also a very popular series. I'm so excited to launch these and see how they're gonna resonate with our audience, because it's gonna be the first time we launch a single IP channel, and I think it is very interesting. So let's see how this would go.
Nice. So the day you launch them, I want to know it. You send me a message, and I'll communicate and post about it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Jordan, I would like to know if you would be ready, like, to distribute Al Arabi News, Syria TV, and other channels that are available on Tarfi TV to other services in the region, or you keep them for yourself?
No. For a few of them, they're from Dot Media. Those are actually in our distribution and being presented and delivered to other platforms. Others, it just depends if we're the technology partner, because of rules we have to follow with different platforms for delivery and terms. But really, that's the goal, is creating a broader appeal. And a lot of that is kind of the nuance I was discussing earlier, is what platforms are taking on what type of genres, what type of languages, what type of international appeal. Some platforms have a bigger appetite for being open to those and adding them to their platform. Some are not yet there, but a big part of that is still making sure that they know what is in our offering, what can be shared, because you never know what is going on in the discussion behind the scenes with these platforms. Any platform could be looking to launch in India or MENA, or bring on 5 new languages just to appeal to their audience, because they see on their platform that they have a lot of people already watching other types of content in those languages. So since we never exactly know what might be changing day to day, our goal is we have a pretty wide offering through our StreamBridge product. We have ways that people can see genres and languages and what's available. So helping them to get ahead of what might be coming down the pipeline helps us and helps our content partners too.
Okay, very good to know. Nadine, the last question about distribution is for you. I'm sure that there are other fast aggregator in this call. What do you say to them? You know, every day there is a new fast aggregator in this world, so it's interesting. So I'm sure like others will contact you. What do you say to them if they want to distribute channels to Wayak?
Yeah, I think I will tell them that probably Wayak is the only OTT platform in the region with a very flexible mindset when it comes to, from a business perspective, execution, business models, trial and error. I think we're the way that we have structured this company is to be very dynamic, and we're very responsive. We don't say no just you know, for stupid reasons. I would say probably we are the go-to OTT platform. If you want to reach to Arabic audience, probably we're AVOD normally, as you know, AVOD platforms normally attract a lot of regional users. The people in the MENA region, they are used to free-to-air channels, FTA. So, I mean, you can immediately link into that and know that our user base is very, very big. I would say probably we are the second largest platform when it comes to unique users per month and time spent on the platform as well. So we have the access. I encourage also people to always look at these matters from a 360 degree. I'll tell you what I mean by that. We do a lot of partnerships, right? And we are open to do that. And we have, whether from a content perspective or on the fast as well. It's a matter of how you think about marketing and the 360 degree on leveraging what Wayak can do. Wayak is a very powerful engine. But if it's if your objective is just to put the platform and close the deal on a small, we're open to that. But if you are a bit more on the creative side and you want to do more and more, we are always here also to think with you. We have a very strong social presence. We have a very strong affinity with our users. Our newsletter open rate is very high. Our push notifications open rate is so high as well. So if you have really a thorough understanding and study of the power of Wayak, and then we manage together to come up with something that's beneficial for you and for us, we might work together to do something very interesting, actually, and you're going to reach your objective, whatever objective you have, whether it is reach or whether it is just distributing your channel or, just closing a small business deal or a larger scale. All of these options are always there on the table. So it's subject to the people who are in discussion to unleash the potential that we have within Wayak to help them out.
I loved your pitch. If I had fast channels, you can take them.
Please.
Thank you, Nadine. Jordan, will let's open the last section of today's discussion about monetization. As you know, the MENA region is very diverse, especially in terms of advertising maturity. What countries do you think have the best potential in the regions when it comes to monetization of fast channels?
So So likely earlier on, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Egypt, those are some of the areas that we are seeing more requests and viewership and some level of ads. And I compare the region to where Latin America was a couple of years ago, where and still is to some degree, where Brazil and Mexico are by far the leaders of the entire region in terms of viewership, device distribution and sales and consumption and monetization. And this is kind of the trend you see in OTT and especially now in FAST in terms of, you have to have that balance of growing the offering, growing the viewership, and proving the point to brands and advertisers of why they need to pull some of their advertising budgets from where they're typically spending, which would be, cable and linear and social media, and help them understand the value of what they're getting within a digital buy. And a lot of that is really evangelizing the understanding, and it can take some time. And I think that's where things are now. And the hard part is you have to have platforms live, you have to have viewership happening, and you have to have some known content that is appealing to brands and advertisers like that they also recognize. You have to make it really easy for them to understand what the growing amount of consumption, the brand adoption and everything else is not that different than what they're seeing and where they're spending money, but there's more value. And we've been doing that for a while, really starting in the US even, because in the US it wasn't always budgets flying from linear into digital. That's still happening more and more every quarter. In Europe, it's very diverse in terms of country spread too. So similar to Latin America, and I think a lot of it is knowing the audience in each country and how to reach them, how the consumption is different, and then talking to brands and agencies to help them understand all details of content, the reporting, the flexibility. And to me, the flexibility is a big part of it too, in terms of minimum budgets that you can offer, cancellation policy, the ability for them to set up, operate, manage, and set up a campaign, and then what kind of data points they're getting back. So I would say the last point is really the ability to target really granularly, based off, like I said, you have single IP channels, you have genre channels, but then you can contextually target from content within the channel too. So maybe in a movie channel, some people just want to target specific types of movies that might not encompass the entire schedule. Like you can do that. We can target specific content from multiple channels to make a media buy for somebody. A single IP channel is easy for someone to understand if they know the audience is resonant with them and the brand. That's an easy buy. And a lot of it takes time in this space for the advertising. There's no way to fast track to get people in brands and agencies that have been doing what they know and are comfortable with for many years to do something that could seem drastically different. The same way people in this webinar might be learning what FAST stands for or what a single IP channel even means. The advertisers and the brands have to be talked to in a very similar way and walked through what is FAST. It's cable in terms of experience and feel and look. It's just served in a slightly different way on different platforms, but essentially it's the same thing from the audience perspective and from the buying perspective. And the more you handhold their understanding and let them know and help them see the value, over time you start bringing the budgets in.
I am convinced evangelization is a key, especially in the region. I've been discussing with a lot of agencies, a lot of advertisers. They want to know more. They want to understand what they can tell to the brands. So yeah, it's part of what we need to bring to the region. I know that IAB MENA is doing a good job trying to explain what's CTV in the region, what's the landscape, and how we can all move forward and make sure that this model is viable. Nadine, AVOD is still your core business after many years. I think you launched Wayax more than 6 years ago. So based on your experience, do you think you can make money real fast? And when? It's a good one.
When, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, to answer the question, but See, the way that I look at it is that we are providing through FAST more advertising options for our clients and advertisers. As you know, Wayak is an AVOD platform. We have a lot of relationships with a lot of agencies and direct clients. We carry our sales in-house within Wayak. So in order to put your ad on Wayak, you just need to reach out to our in-house sales team. Any Wayak person would be able to help you. So what we're trying to do with the FAST is to have more options for our clients and agencies to be able to book their video advertising, premium video advertising into in Wayak, and to provide more of them with more inventory. We're really happy with the pace of how our inventory is growing in the region, specifically in GCC and some other key markets. So Saudi remains our #1 key market with UAE and GCC in general. Then we have Egypt, Iraq, and Morocco. Our inventory keeps on growing. And in order for us to keep on finding new options for our agencies and clients, something like FAST would also serve the purpose very well, because it's going to increase our inventory for sure, and it will provide a new option for advertising for them. So we're hopeful that this is going to be really a substantial part of our monetization strategy and an independent revenue stream at one point of time. Until now, it's not the case. I would say we are still on the testing or trial and error side. Although we were like one of the first, or the first platform actually to have FAST on their platform, and that was a little more than 4 years ago. But at that time, it was completely unmonetized until the moment now. This year, things are a lot different. So right now we have 2 ways of monetization. One of them is the sales is completely through Wayak, and we put the advertising through our own technologies and our own back end and ad tech team. We insert it into the streams for people to consume. The other one is the way that we are working with some of our partners, where we aggregate the channel and they take care of all of the advertising from their side, and we take a share from that. So far, these are the 2 business models that we are working on. I'm sure other business models might evolve. For now, it's not a main revenue stream for us, for sure. We are still at the early stages of this area.
I'll already talk to your sales team, and yeah, I was amazed by the targeting capabilities you have and the way you can target different countries and different audience. So you just answered my last question, so I will ask it to Jordan. If I'm a brand and I want to advertise on Tarfi TV, what should I do? Who I should contact?
You can start and reach out to me, and I'll connect you
Perfect.
with our internal,
Okay.
yeah, to make it easy, and I'll connect you with our advertising team. So in a similar way, we're handling the monetization across our platform, and through our advertising network, AdNet Plus, we've been doing this in other regions already. So we have different team members based in different parts of the world to help, whether it's Europe or Latin America, and obviously the US, to help. You know, a lot of it is really just having conversations with more agencies and brands, and then of course we're very strong programmatically. So programmatically is kind of similar to distribution. Is you work with all the major SSPs, which is supply side partners, and what you're doing is you're helping to show your offering of available inventory based on the different publishers. So in the same way you have to present the channel for distribution to a platform, you also have to present a publisher, which is the phrase for advertisers in terms of the content, to the advertising partners, so they understand what their buyers would be in front of. So if it's a sports channel, if it's a kids channel, if it's a movie channel, they want to understand what type of content, how the engagement is, where it's live, how much the viewership is, to make it more enticing to the buyers. So the more you can promote and highlight the channels, the better you can do over time. And then also it's showing where you have inventory, what territories, and knowing where they have demand in what territories, and maybe you can help them grow their offering, because sometimes a programmatic partner might start to get, buying interest in UAE, which is new for them. So they have to know who we can go to that actually has supply there. So the more they know, they can go to us for supply in MENA or other regions where they're not, typically working already, is a big help to them. So it's kind of similar to the distribution in that way, is you always want to be ahead of the game, sharing what you have to your partners and helping them to grow. And they do the same for us.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Thank you so much, Nadine, for your time today. We could speak about this topic for hours. I have much more questions in mind, but no, thanks again for your transparency. I learned a lot today, so that's a good start. Yeah, thank you. This live session was recorded, so DICM will share with you next week the recording. And something that's very interesting, this webinar was part 1. The part 2 will be live at DICM 2023 on November 22nd at the Madinat Jumeirah in Dubai. And we'll talk about fast in MENA. I'm sure in more than 1 month, a lot will be different. New channels from Wayak, new channels from Tarfi TV, and others. Just a reminder for anyone who has not registered yet, the e-Ramadan content market is happening very soon on the 25th and 26th of October. And the DICM again will take place from the 22nd to 23rd of November. For more details, you can visit the website. Thanks again. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and goodbye. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.